Yeah, Joyce, and that raises a broader and more interesting point, because you have Justice Thomas, who's kind of laid down a marker. I mean, you almost get the sense he was saying to an emerging group of folks out there, send us the case, and we're going to, deal with these other reconsider cases like Griswold, Lawrence, and Obergefell. Is that a correct interpretation? How do you see this from a justice perspective?
He's issued an engraved invitation to conservative forces to repeat the strategy that was used for 50 years, a strategy that Republicans pursued with patience and persistence to get to where we are today on abortion. The reason that has some vitality is because substantive due process is the legal principle from which all of these rights are derived, the previous right to abortion services, and now Obergefell, Lawrence, Griswold versus Connecticut, the contraception case. The notion being that there are some rights that are so foundational that you have a right to be protected from the government interfering with those rights. And Clarence Thomas believes that that's malarkey. He thinks that there's no such thing as substantive due process. He called it an oxymoron in his concurring opinion, and he essentially invited future litigants to bring challenges. And it's exactly what we saw with abortion, where you would see states, past state legislatures, passing laws that they knew would not go into effect because they were unconstitutional, but they wanted to stack them up case after case, looking for the case that would finally break through and permit the Supreme Court to reverse itself. That's what Justice Thomas is asking for. I guess the good news is that he didn't get a single justice to join his concurrence. But frankly, he was an outlier on the abortion issue. He's always been an outlier on substantive due process, and there's no reason to believe he won't continue to work. And he's really giving encouragement to conservative lawyers across the country to bring these challenges.
Sarah, we heard a little bit about what Jennifer had to say in terms of her personal journey on this. What would be your advice to women at this time as this settles in across the country in the next few weeks and months and years, likely? How should this be absorbed by women in the country?
Yeah, twofold. I mean, one, to understand what your rights are now, understand where abortion is already illegal as of this moment, understand where abortion is legal and what the restrictions are, even in those places where abortion is legal, so that you understand your full scope of options. If you are fortunate enough to work for an employer that will pay for travel services for you or for a dependent, have that information at hand. And continue to show up, continue to speak out, continue to march. There's only way to change this country is to demonstrate that this is not supported by a majority of Americans.
Jennifer, what's your message to young girls, particularly given the journey that you just experienced with a friend? What does a 12, 13, 17-year-old girl think about this, or should think about what this all means?
I mean, I think exactly what Sarah just said. We have got to fight back. We can be sad, we can be mad, but we have got to fight back right now, and women need to know their rights, and they need to fight for them. And we have got to, Roe is on the ballot in November, make no mistake. And young women especially need to get out and vote for legislators, senators, congressmen who believe in upholding this very important fundamental right for women. And I think, to Sarah's point, know where resources are available. I think we are going to see women across this country, driving, jetting to places where abortion is safe and legal. And I encourage it here in Maryland, for women to seek people out who will provide the resources they need to access a safe and legal abortion.
Joyce Vance, Sarah Warbello, and Jennifer Burton, thank you each for your time. Still ahead, what we've learned about Republicans in Congress. During this week's January 6th hearings, it was interesting. Congresswoman Mary Gay Scanlon joins me next.